Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new standards of excellence.
Yes.
Say yes to engaging reportage with a difference.
Yes.
Introducing Yes International Magazine. The time to say yes to your dreams and aspirations is here.
Good evening once again, and welcome to tonight's interactive session with Dr. Dakuku Peterside. Like I said earlier on, my name is Azua Rinze. It hasn't changed, and our guest is Dr. Dakuku Peterside. But yes, like I said earlier on, our guest who has graciously joined us tonight is Dr. Dakuku Peterside. Dr. Peterside, in my own estimation, is one of the most blessed and accomplished new generation politicians from the Garden City, from River State, not just the Garden City, yes, from River State. He was born on December 31, 1970, and what that means is that on December 31, 2020 is going to be 50 years old. Dr. Peterside attended the popular Krika Grammar School, from where he proceeded to the River State University of Science and Technology, where he bagged his first degree in medical laboratory science. He also holds 2 master's degrees. The first is in management and the second is in management sciences, plus a PhD in organizational behavior from the University of Port Harcourt. Dr. Peterside is happily married to the ever elegant Mrs. Elima Peterside, and the union is blessed with 3 adorable children. The first one is Soba, the second one is Belema, and the third one is Miebi. Dr. Peterside, in quotes, has been into politics nearly all his life. I mean, because it started while he was still a student at the River State University of Science and Technology, where he was elected first as the national president of the National Union of River State Students. From there, he became the special advisor to ex-Governor Peter Dele on students and youth affairs. Much later, he was also the special advisor on works. Then he moved on from there to become the chairman of Opobo Nkoro local government area in River State. Then he also went on to become the commissioner for works, and much later, member of House of Representatives. And until a few months back, he was the Director General and the Chief Executive Officer of NIMASA. NIMASA, for those who do not know, may not know, stands for the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety. Dr. Dakuku Peterside is not just a politician, he's also a columnist. He writes for a whole lot of papers, including our own Yes International Magazine. He's a leadership coach. He's an organizational development expert. And now he has joined the League of Authors. His debut book is Strategic Turnaround. We shall be discussing that and many other issues. So once again, Dr. Dakuku Peterside, you're welcome to this Instagram chat.
Thank you, Azo. Thank you very much.
All right. Now, I want to take my first question. You will be 50 on Thursday, December 31, 2020. What feelings and emotions and memories have you been juggling in your mind as you look forward to joining the Golden Club?
Well, let me start by saying that I thank the Almighty God for numerous blessings. You have reeled out some of our accomplishments. It's not because we are smarter than any other person. It's not because we're more talented. it is simply because of the grace of God. And so
I
it's
love
God that
that.
brought us. It's God that brought us thus far. Now, looking back, it's been a long, fairly rough, tedious, or challenging journey. But at every turn, we have gotten the support of the Almighty God and the support of men. And so we've accomplished all we've accomplished because we have enjoyed tremendous support from God Almighty, from men. Looking back, all we can say is thank you to Almighty God and thank you to all those that have supported us in the journey of life. Some of the greatest memories we have, especially in light of COVID-19, is that we are alive to celebrate this day.
I love that. I love that. I love that.
Without being immodest, if we look back, it's been 50 years of impact, 50 years of fulfillment. I thank the Almighty God that I discovered my own calling early enough. At age 11, I discovered that God called me to do leadership and to help people realize their vision, accomplish their mission, and succeed. And as people succeed, I feel fulfilled and my own joy is full. And that's, for me, that's fulfilling. That's satisfying. When I see other people happy, when I see other people accomplished, when I see other people fulfilled, that's the way I'm fulfilled myself. Thank you.
Wow, I love that. I love that. Now, 50 is a landmark. As a matter of fact, it is rightly called the golden age. How do you plan to celebrate your 50th birthday?
Oh, well, my 50th birthday, my family is holding a Thanksgiving service on the 31st. After the Thanksgiving service, there will be a reception. And on the 28th of January, 3 organizations are collaborating to organize a public lecture in my honor. Leadership newspaper, where I write or I'm a columnist. Business Day, where I also write. And Development and Leadership Institute, DLI, where I'm the founder. These 3 organizations are collaborating to organize a public lecture in my honor. And the guest lecturer is no other than the executive governor of Borno State, Professor Zulum, who has been at the forefront of the struggle against insurgency or insecurity. He will be speaking on security and economic growth, leadership in challenging times. And you have 5 persons who will be panelists to discuss his paper. Governor El-Rufai, Governor Kayode Fayemi, ex-Governor Donald Duke, my friend Hamza Lawal, and Tayosi Akrelele. These 5 persons will be discussing the paper presented by Governor Zulum of Borno State. After the public lecture, we'll be presenting the book, The Strategic Turnaround. You already know so much about the book. I listened to your introduction. Strategic Turnaround is actually not a book about management. It's also not the chronicle of the things we did in Nemasa. It is simply what it is. It is an explicit, simple, easy to understand narrative of the principles, processes, patterns, thought processes that we put in to reform the agency from what was literally a laggard or a mediocre agency to a top-flight, world-class, respected agency that has earned global respect today as the foremost regulatory and shipping regulatory and promotion agency in the continent of Africa. How did that happen within a space of 4 years? It is not the usual reform. It is indeed what is termed a turnaround. And the difference between a reform and turnaround is that reform takes a longer process. Turnaround takes a very short process. So it's a shock therapy for an organization that was faltering, an organization that was losing momentum, an organization that had lost its bearing. And under 4 years, we're able to take it back on course, got it to gain traction and momentum, and today it is the toast of the nation. So this book captures the major reform initiatives and captures the key actors. What is is it that we did? What was the principles, the management principles, the leadership principles? What are the strategies? What is it that we indeed did? What is it that we put in place to transform that agency and make it earn global respect? So we'll be doing that. That's what we'll be doing. And finally, I'm sure that a few of my friends will be putting together a small in-house party if COVID allows us. So that's how we plan to celebrate our 50 years. It's a time for sober reflection. It's a time to reconnect. It's a time to think about life again. Life is not just about what you gain. It's about what you give. What matters in life is impact, not what you benefit. Nobody remembers those who benefited from society. They remember those who made impact, those who gave to society. That's what matters. It's about giving. It's not about receiving. Thank you very much.
Wow. Wow, I love that. It's about giving and not about receiving. I'm going to take that away from what you just said. Now, all those who have just joined us, Oji Osako, thanks so much. Nikki, thanks so much. Dom Pulas, thanks so much. All those who are just joining us, thank you so much. Now, I need you to tell us more about your last place of work, and that's talking about Nimasa. What would you describe as your greatest achievement at Nimasa?
Well, I'm happy that Isicho Sambo is on the platform. One of the if you recall, that by 2015, 2016, the reputation of Nimasa was not anything for anybody to be proud of. Nimasa was a pariah organization. Nimasa was disparaged. Nimasa was caricatured. Nimasa was an organization that nobody wants to associate with. The reputation was dented. And today, the reverse is the case. If we didn't accomplish any other thing, we turned around the reputation of Nimasa. Today, that agency is respected. That agency has a good reputation. Beyond reputation, the other thing that we did is that the regulatory processes of the agency, we clearly turned it around. We changed the focus from activities to outcome. And the result is that we became #1 in Africa in port state control. And that's the core of our mandate. Our mandate is regulation. And in that regulation, we're able to come out tops as #1 in West and Central Africa. That's another accomplishment we made that nobody can deny. Now, in terms of pursuit of economic growth, for the first time, and since the foundation of the agency, we're able to put 7,000 Nigerians on board cabotage vessels. The other important accomplishment is that for the first time, we increased revenue that will contribute to the national post by 1,000%. Nobody has done that before under a space of 4 years. We increased revenue by 1,000%. Revenue is not the focus of the agency, but at least it's a major accomplishment that we did. We changed the work ethic in Nimasa. That's the important thing. We changed the work ethic in Nimasa, where people became more aware of what they are called to do in Nimasa, the mission of Nimasa. We made it a knowledge-driven organization. I repeat, we made it a knowledge-driven organization. The average staff of Nimasa, and the way it works is that when you build capacity of people, that means you're building their capacity to solve problems. You mean that you're building capacity for efficiency and effectiveness. We built capacity of the people. It showed in effectiveness. It showed in efficiency. And when an organization is more effective and efficient, it shows in productivity. It means it deliver results. And when it delivers more results, stakeholders are happy. It impacts on the business of stakeholders. We regulate people. When we regulate people, the stakeholders, when their businesses are run in an efficient and effective manner, of course, they add to the economic benefit of the country. It enhances their business. So those are some of the few things accomplished in the agency for which the posterity will be kind to us.
Wow, wow, what a long list of success stories that you just read out. Now, Gerard Opi just joined us. Thank you very much. Dr. Peterside, there's one Mr. Martins Ibigomie Ogolo who says I should let you know that River State is proud of you, that you're one of a kind and that you did very, very well at Nimasa. Yes, now moving forward.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
thank you very much.
Yes. Moving forward, there's no arguing the fact, that you revolutionized the maritime sector and even became the #1 maritime administrator in Africa. How did you do that? How were you able to accomplish all that?
Well, if you ask me, 3 things are clearly very important. One is that we got every stakeholder in the agency and outside the agency to buy into the vision. And our vision was very clear. We wanted to make the agency the foremost maritime administration in Africa and advancing Nigeria's maritime goal. And we got everybody to understand the vision, to buy into the vision. Point 1. The next important step is to help them understand that to do that, there are a number of critical steps that we must take. And that means that we did not only define our mission, we came out with a strategic plan and got everybody to understand their role in the plan, got everybody to understand how their work, a sweeper, how his work contributes to making us #1 and helping us advance Nigeria's maritime goal. We got the cleaner to understand how his work, contributes to making us #1 and helping us advance Nigeria's maritime goal. So we got everybody to understand that the little things they do daily contribute to our success story. And so everybody became part of the success story. We enhanced teamwork, we enhanced collaboration. And so whether internal stakeholders, external stakeholders, they all understood, they were all aware that their work, the little things they do contributes to our success story or the dream we want to accomplish. The dream was very clear, crystal clear. Everybody understood the dream. We wanted to be #1. We wanted to advance Nigeria's maritime goals. We wanted to indeed contribute to economic growth of our country. And to do that, we wanted safe shipping, we wanted environmental stewardship, we wanted to be effective in search and rescue. And so that's what we did. Just for the sake of emphasis, we made sure that the vision is clear, people understood the vision, that people understand how their work contributes to the realization of the vision. We also make people understand how the work is integrated, how the little thing, the cleaner who does his work well, how his work, contributes to achieving that common shared goal or shared vision. How the man who goes on board a vessel to do inspection, how his work contributes, and how a man who is in the PRO department, how his work contributes to making us #1, and the one who is in cabinet, how his work contributes. So we built a formidable team, an integrated team that synergized with external stakeholders. Now, the other thing is that we had a strategic plan, a detailed plan, and it was documented, circulated. People understood their roles. We had a clear plan, and we now got everybody to play his best role. So it's not about I love your face, I don't love your face. We did a competency profile, so we could get the right persons in the right place. Everybody had a role to play, and everybody understood the importance of their role. Then the other thing is that we built their capacity. We gave them the knowledge they need. We gave them the tools, and the tools is in knowledge. And one thing with knowledge is that when you have knowledge, it means it gives you confidence in yourself, enhances your capacity to deliver the results. So we gave people knowledge. And now with knowledge, they were armed. We got them knowledge, we got them skill to deliver on the job. Now, we also brought the job into measurable entities, measurable parts. So at every point in time, we could measure what you are doing. At every point in time, we could measure what you are doing. We review you, we sit down. So we're doing regular reviews, at the agency level, departmental level, unit level, initiative level. We are doing regular reviews. At every review, we modify what ought to be modified. What needs to be enhanced, we enhance. What we need to do differently, we'll do differently. What we need to shut down, we shut down. Then, from time to time, we'll look at the agency again. Are we truly making progress? Are we going towards the goal we all agreed or the objective we agreed? These were the little steps we took to accomplish results. And we realize that the agency itself is made of component units. So we did not only think about reforming the agency, what of the component units, what of the initiatives that all come together to act as one. We did that. We focus on the units, we focus on the departments, we focus on initiatives, then we also focus on the agency. We were not unmindful of the fact that the external environment had influence on the agency. The internal environment. Now, to do that is that we also cared for the welfare of the workers. We increase the contribution to their insurance. We increase contribution to their pension. Of course, we expose them to training outside the country. In 3 years, consistently, 81% of top management staff of NIMASA had opportunity of traveling abroad, having foreign exposure and foreign training. We did that consistently. Because we understand that it is human beings that will drive change. It is human beings that will achieve change.
Wow, I love that. I love that. Now, you have reeled out a long list of beautiful things that you did. If I may ask, what would you have loved to accomplish at NIMASA that you were not able to before you left?
Oh, indeed, there are several of them, and there's no denial about that. There are indeed several of them that we could not accomplish. And I'll just read out a few of the things we could not accomplish. Now, we set out to do digital reforms. We were not able to complete digital reforms for the agency. We wanted everything to be accomplished on the touch of a button. We were very ambitious, but the public procurement process was slightly tedious. And so we are not able to accomplish all we set to do in the digital reforms. That's one of the things we are not able to accomplish. Now, the second thing I like to talk about is our maritime security architecture. Now, if we have any challenge in Nigerian waters or in the maritime space, it is insecurity or piracy and maritime crime. We designed what is called the Deep Blue Project. The strategy was very clear. The vision was very clear where we wanted to go. The roadmap was also well designed. Now, we had acquired assets, we had trained personnel. We were not able to deploy before we came to the end of our tenure. That's another thing, that if we had deployed and secured our waters, then there would have been prosperity, a lot of prosperity. Now, the other thing is that there are a number of operational and regulatory issues. We wanted to commence the issuance of Class 1 Certificate of Competency, which would have made Nigerian seafarers competitive, which would have placed them on board a lot of ocean-going vessels worldwide. And that would have created a lot of employment opportunity. That would have enhanced the standing of Nigerian seafarers. That we were not able to accomplish because a number of things were not in place. We tried to put those things in place, but some of those things require time. We were not able to accomplish those things. Then we had a number of unfinished human resource issues. We wanted to do a competency model, but we were not able to accomplish a competency model. There were a number of missteps, and I agree that there were missteps. First is that we brought together a number of professionals to help us design the competency model, competency profile, that we were not able to accomplish because we realized that we could not hold anybody responsible. We brought 6 professionals, and each working independent of each other, but yet working as a team. We eventually hired a consulting firm late in the day, and they could not finish that task before we left. The other thing is that we wanted to review the agency's condition of service because we understand the impact of the condition of service on the morale of staff and the welfare of staff. We are also not able to accomplish that before we left. We had reviewed it. It was awaiting board approval, but we couldn't turn the hand of the board. Then wanted to change, we are pursuing a lot of fiscal policy changes, which we did not achieve. One of the things we wanted to do was to change the terms of trade from free on board FOB to cost, insurance, and freight. That will have revolutionized shipping in Nigeria. What that means is that anybody coming to buy crude oil in Nigeria, whether you like it or not, Nigeria will provide you shipping services. So we're not just going to supply you crude. It is Nigerian vessels that will carry your crude, Nigerian seafarers that will be on board the vessel. Of course, all the other ancillary services, insurance, Chandelier services, and every other service that comes with it. Just changing the terms of trade from FOB to CIF would have revolutionized shipping in the country. And we're single-minded about the pursuit of that objective. But, you know, it involves multiple stakeholders. We were not able to accomplish that before we came to the end of our term. Now, the other thing we wanted to do was to get Central Bank to get a dedicated funding for shipping, a single-digit interest rate funding for shipping. They did that for agriculture. They did that for aviation. They did that in other sectors. Why can't they do that for shipping? It's just because people didn't understand the full dimension of shipping. One of the mistakes is that we did not start by giving them the numbers. Now, listen, if you provide one-digit interest-free interest loan, now these are the number of persons that it will give, that can give employment. We need to start with letting them understand the end in focus. But again, when we started pursuing, we were not able to accomplish all of that before the end. So there are things actually that we would have loved to accomplish that we did not accomplish because of the factor of time. You know, whenever you're changing the system, whenever you're reforming a system, it usually takes time. And unfortunately, we are caught up in the web and intrigue of time. But we thank God, look back with benefit of hindsight, that we're able to accomplish so much within such a short period.
Short time. Wow. We'll still come back to Nimasa. But now let's also touch on other issues. Now, you have done well also in politics, from being a special advisor to a local government chairman to a commissioner to a member of the House of Representatives, even Nimasa and everything. What would you describe as your greatest achievement and legacy as a politician or in politics?
Well, my greatest achievement is that young people can see a role model. They can say, at least we know one politician who has integrity. My greatest legacy is not the fact that I built 6 flyover bridges in River State, 1,000 roads as commissioner, because indeed I did. I built 1,000 kilometers of roads. At the time, it was the longest kilometer of road added to a state road network in 4 years. Wow. It's there to stand. It's there for anyone to see. We built 6 flyovers within those 4 years. We did so much. But that's not my legacy. As a local government chairman, I built the local government secretariat, which is a testament to date. That local government secretariat is standing there. I completed a market that was initiated by the government before mine. That for me is not a legacy. We built what was called outpost offices. We built health centers. That for me is not my greatest legacy. My greatest legacy is not the fact that we came to Nimasa, we turned around Nimasa, we changed Nimasa. My greatest legacy is that there is somebody, you know, that will encourage young people that you can be in politics and be a man of integrity. For me, and I pride myself all the time. And I say that I challenge anybody. I've never discussed bribe with anybody all my life. I challenge anybody. And so you can be in politics and be a man of character, a man of integrity.
And integrity.
That is my greatest legacy.
Wow, I love that. I love that. Now, you ran one of the most effective campaigns, you know, as a governorship candidate, as the governorship candidate of APC in Rivers State. I remember reading your manifesto there, you know, titled Better Together. What exactly went wrong?
Well, if you ask me, what went wrong is our electoral system. There was nothing wrong with our campaign. We ran the most effective campaign. The Rivers people accepted our message, but Rivers people were not given opportunity to cast their vote. The electoral process was marked by violence. It is the first and only election in Nigeria where we lost 1,000 souls. It has never happened before. Nothing like it has ever happened before. And we are documenting it in a book called The Heart of the Brave, which we hope will present next year.
What did you call the title of the book again?
The Heart of the Brave.
The Heart of the Brave, all right. Yes.
Yeah, that book will be presented next year among 3 books we plan to present next year. We're going to present, by first quarter 2022, we are presenting 3 books by the special grace of God. You know, we're presenting 3 books. is one of the 3 books we'll be presenting. What went wrong is our electoral system, or was rather our electoral system. There was nothing wrong with the campaign. We ran an effective campaign, a message that Rivers people accepted and supported. They looked forward to a time that they will have a governor who represents their aspiration, a governor who will do their wishes, or who will accomplish those things that are dear to them, and they believe that will represent that vision, that dream, will represent their hopes and aspiration. But of course, the electoral process dashed that. It was marked by violence, and they got a governor they didn't deserve, a governor they didn't elect, a governor they didn't vote. But that's history now.
Okay.